Hi there, welcome to the Noah Presgrove case. Today we've got an important map analysis of a supposed event that went down at the party which Kaden Pressy witnessed, and it's not been talked about since, and it's not really been analysed either. Join me today as we do a never seen before deep analysis, grabbing bits of material and different points of views of what key people of interest have said or gone against, which may contrast to Kaden Pressy, to try and work out what went down Sunday night going into Monday morning. Does it correlate to Noah Presgrove's death, Noah's exit from the party house? What's really going on? Amidst the fractured nature of Kaden's story and recollections, and as we've heard in recent time with counterpoints and slip-ups by Alicia, it's hard to believe in what's really true and what's not. So join me today as we just take a look back at the private leaked interview with police in which Kaden Pressy participated in when referring to people he saw returning back in regard to Travis Monsen and Colton Newton and a skinny kid not named. That's a mystery in itself. We're going to go through it bit by bit today. Got screenshots, Snapchat responses, analyze that, rejog your memory, then we will apply it to a basic map analysis timeline, go from there, theorize, whether that be looking at it from an accidental point of view in Noah's death or a more sinister outlook. There's no harm in bringing back that focus and balance once again. Welcome to those that are currently watching this live premiere. Share your thoughts, opinions, reactions in the live chat located on the right hand side of the screen. If you do want to catch up on previous coverage and any videos you've missed out on within this case, don't worry, you'll find the full playlist top right corner where the I symbol is. If you do want to support this channel, down below in the comment section there'll be a pinned message with the PayPal link. Shout out to those that have supported the channel in recent time, and those in the background, you know who you are. So without further ado, let's begin. As you see on screen, this was the Snapchat conversation in the past with an individual which people claimed to be Vanessa Salazar, highlighted in red, known as me, responding to Colton Newton and asking in general. Now take in mind, when it comes to this screenshot itself, this is to do with another Snapchat, but more so a response on behalf of somebody else. But it is Colton Newton here, who was defending Stephanie Millan when supposedly the same said individual highlighted in red, known as me, also regarded to by people in the community as Vanessa Salazar, was also communicating, possibly, with Stephanie Millan, trying to figure out answers and what was going on from the party. But was it done in a natural, proper way? Well, I guess if you're pretending to be somebody else or Noah's friend, it's a little bit darker, right? But it's just to highlight the themes, because if you have a party goer that was present and have got a bit of a sharp edge to them, threatening behaviour at any point, we've got to look at it regardless. Jack Newton's older brother, known as Colton Newton. And Colton said to whoever it was at the time, in regards to the Snapchat with Stephanie Millan, different conversation, "Hey pal, you stay the F out of the Millan's messages or I'll come find you, bud." Why would Colton Newton go out of his way physically to come and find a person that's simply reaching out to Stephanie Millan, when at the end of the day, Stephanie Millan chose to respond back and answer questions? It is what it is. Now, was there a follow-up? Did Colton try coming after the supposed individual reaching out to Stephanie? Maybe not. But threatening behaviour like this just doesn't look good on the person. Even if Colton is innocent within the case, their threatening behaviour does them no favours, just like some of the people in the case with time. It's an observation that we need to acknowledge. If we've looked at Ace Franco for his shocking violent crimes committed in 2025, although it's separate charges and they do not link back to the Noah Presgrove case, the individual committing them does link back because they were a party goer, one of Justin Roy's nephews. So that's how we make the links. Just happens that Colton was supposedly a party goer as well. And when referring to more focus on that, I'll just read it out to you here, what's said, because it will set the story and the tone for when we look at Kaden Pressy's side of it. Colton Newton said, "I was at the party the night before Noah died. Well, Noah Presgrove died Monday morning. The night before would be Sunday. But at least how it's worded by Colton in regard to not being invited back the next day, I don't know if that would have applied to Monday, because, quick question, was Monday supposed to be the final proper day at the party, with it being Labour Day and people still being off? You know, if Noah's death never occurred and no news of that happened, would the party have continued on through the day of Monday, or were people getting ready to leave and go back to work, school, wherever? Does anyone actually know? Because it feels like the party was cut short because of the news that happened with Noah Presgrove, right? Early Monday morning, pretty early, and then cut short the party. Not that it was, well, you could say it's ruined the party, but there was bigger and more important stuff going on, serious stuff with Noah and the mystery behind it in the moment. But if Noah's death did not happen, would the party have continued on all the way through Monday to nighttime and then end, and then Tuesday it's a normal day? Because at least how I interpret it worded here, I believe Colton's probably more so referring to, I guess, well, let me just double check. I was at the party the night before Noah died. The night before Noah died. Right, well, some people like to refer to night as Sunday, but still Monday, so it gets really confusing. I don't give a fuck what some people say. If people use proper language and wording, it would be a lot better. At least how it's worded here, based off natural wording and how it literally is worded, and what we know of. Noah died Monday. Colton was at the party the night before. So that'd be Sunday. That would tie in line with what Kaden is saying. But Colton, I guess, was also mentioning how, well, it was actually the Saturday I was there, and because of flirting, and Jack, young brother, got jealous, told me I couldn't return back the next day. Couldn't return back the next day as in, what, Sunday? So you weren't there, but you were later on at night, as Kaden witnessed? Or does it mean if Monday was to continue on as a full day of partying, if there was no news of Noah's death and people just continued on, that the day before Noah's death, which would be a Sunday, Sunday was the day of when Colton was flirting and was told not to come back the next day, which would have been the Monday, and ended up sneaking back on the Monday early hours to try and get some alcohol, as Kaden saw. Because Kaden did word it as Sunday night or Monday morning. So Colton's like, oh, I was there Sunday, or maybe I was there Saturday, but I wasn't able to come back the next day. If you're there Saturday, you're not able to come back the next day, it'd be Sunday. If you were there Sunday, but you weren't able to come back the next day, it'd be Monday. So it's stupid, the wording. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm sure there'll be a couple, small amount of people that get where I'm coming from there in terms of how it's worded. Me says, Noah told me Avery was all over him. Colton's response, me and Carter Combs played beer pong together, and Jack Newton got mad, so he didn't want me back the next night when everything happened. Well, everything did not happen at night, more so it happened the morning. So it depends how you interpret it here. If we're going to the night when it all happened and Noah's death, then basically referring to Monday here, but people are calling it almost like Sunday night because they haven't gone to sleep yet at the time. But we're talking retrospectively now, so we're not talking in the moment. We should be able to use proper wording. Me says, he is too jealous for his own damn good over her, and Colton, not your place, but sure. She played with his head. Noah said she would tell Jack stories about men wanting her and it would piss Jack off. Oh, not that again. Colton Newton, I was not at B-dubs with JJ, by the way. Right. Because we've had some little updates since. Colton, it's no true. Travis was with me. Travis Monsen, the other individual which Kaden referred to that was at the party. I know he didn't do anything. Me said, hard to believe. Why is it hard to believe, though? What's the evidence to say that Travis is dodgy, then? Colton, but hey, you get you a good group of 5 to 6 guys and we'll see what happens. Okay, so we've got more threatening language by Colton, which is reckless. Me says JJ pinged at the house, and Colton said JJ was there, not Travis. And ever since, people were saying, or Colton was saying, how it wasn't meant as a fact. The person was confused or didn't really know or was just going along with it. Still dodgy. There's no point trying to play games or fiddle about. Say you don't know or you do know. Don't be confident and then change it all about. It doesn't help. But also shame on to the original person known as me that stated it as a fact that JJ Bumpaz pinged at the house when there's no hard evidence of that. And JJ Bumpaz, ever since, has constantly said, I was not nor never at the party. And such as like what we looked at last night, Kaden Pressy wanting to hang out with his friend JJ at a lake. And JJ was unaware of what was happening because he wasn't there at the party, and he was unaware and confused as to the news of Noah, and Kaden had to tell him. So it shows there. But in the past, when we were looking at this stuff and before, people were dragging JJ's name into it all. But to be honest, Colton Newton in the moment doesn't help by going along with it at least, or agreeing that JJ was there when he wasn't. No better. Some people, I think, recently said, oh yeah, that Snapchat conversation of this one in the past, it was a joke, messing about, that Colton caught on to this Vanessa or so and was playing and toying with her for answers and responses and just going along with it, making him look stupid. Well, if that's really the case and it was done out of satisfaction, I wouldn't say it was the best thing or the brightest thing to do, because if you know certain types of people, or you sense like they'll probably just spread it out there, gossip and expose this all, and you're okay with that and you're toying them along so then they spread misinformation, you've helped in assisting with that, because all that means is in the public, this will be posted, people will see it, some will believe it and others will be confused. And what you don't clear it up, you never clear it up, so it just remains like this. Yeah, it just adds to more confusion. It might be fun to one, but does it help the case? No. So I don't think this was a good idea. But for Colton to say not Travis, so Travis wasn't there, Travis was with you, Colton, and you, Colton, say you were at the party. So wherever you are, Travis follows then? We did see a response on Facebook by Colton, 1 minute saying he was at the party, then on Facebook saying he wasn't at the party and never was. So what the hell is going on there? Why did that ever come about? Why was it ever said that way? Was that more messing about? But that was public. More confusion, more bollocks, and not cleared up. And yeah, people in the chat and people elsewhere can say, oh, it's all a joke and, you know, it's just people messing about. Yeah, but it's not helping the case. And it's not being cleared up either. And that's why I am here, the catalyst. When it comes to this particular post at some point in time on Snapchat, Colton Newton created a snap saying, if you think I had anything to do with Noah's passing, come on down to Comanche and let's talk about it. Now, I don't know if that would have anything to do with the, you know, you get a group of 5 to 6 guys and we'll see what happens. What, the only way it can be resolved with violence? Why do you need 5 to 6 guys and, you know, let's all group together to do what, though? To fight? Why? It's just reckless. And that one, I'll come and find you. So one says, I'll come and find you, and the other one says, come on down and we'll meet. All sounds very hostile. For a person that appears hostile, a bit of a short fuse, a bit aggressive, defensive maybe. At the party with Noah Presgrove, was Noah safe around Colton Newton? And if that comes across as an insult to some people, well, tough shit. You know, if you present yourself in a threatening manner, you can't control yourself. What would you like at the party if there was alcohol present then? It needs to be acknowledged. In regard to Jack Newton, of course, we've looked at Jack previously. Some said Jack has been inconsistent and has lied. But ever since, we've seen Kaden as well in a greater format. I wouldn't say Colton is any better, as in, you know, saying I was there, but I wasn't. I was, but I wasn't. And Travis, he was never there. Travis wasn't at the party mentioned by Colton, how you can interpret it. And yet, we've got Travis Monsen here, and I believe this was taken on the Saturday. You see the shirt in the background, patterned. Of course, you can't see the person's face, but don't worry. Because when we move on to the next slide, You see the same exact shirt and pattern top there. I don't think anyone else would be matching at the time of the party based on that. I know it's not the definitive comparison, but I'd say it's good enough in my opinion. You can let me know your thoughts down below. Why is it so significant? Because it's an individual that was at the party at some point at least, maybe on the Saturday onwards, and was never really talked about in the case that much. When there's such focus on other people, the rest can get neglected about, and if they're neglected, who knows what you could be missing out on, whether it be clearing up the case, setting the record straight, or new leads. You never know. Sure, there is Travis Monsen. Does it give location? Well, it says Terrell, so close enough, isn't it, to the party house? And more importantly, when it comes to this one here, where it's a bit more zoomed in, what you need to remember is in the background appears to be the shower, quite a small one, with a shower railing and curtain, same exact colour and pattern to the one at the party house. And maybe still it's not good enough to some people, but I would say, just in my opinion, this appears to be the bathroom at the party house. The same room which at 1:50 in the morning, supposedly, where Noah Presgrove and Jack Newton took a selfie. The same with Trav Monsen. But was Travis Monsen taking this photo on the Monday? And it's like Lisa in the comments, who probably will deny it now, did say, oh, did Travis take it at the same time as when Noah and Jack were taking it, but one was edited out or something? Or was it one after the other? Who knows? I don't think it was edited whatsoever. That's a massive stretch. This could well have been taken on the Saturday. Acknowledging the profile picture being updated on his Facebook, September 3rd, 2023. September 4th, Noah's death, which is the Monday. Day before September 3rd, be the Sunday. So this may have been updated on his profile picture on the Sunday, but was the photo taken on the same day, or was it taken more so on this day, which would have been the 2nd, also known as Saturday? Maybe. If Travis was there at the party on Saturday, did he stay till Sunday? Did he return back on Sunday, or what? From what Kaden Pressy says, that appears to be the case. And in regard to Colton, the same there. But, we just acknowledge it one last time, because I don't think I read it properly before. Me and Carter were playing beer pong together, harmless, and Jack got mad, and he didn't want me back the next night, which could well be Sunday night, when it all started kicking off, going into Monday. Well, based off that, why would Jack be jealous? Why would Jack be jealous of Colton? What, because he fears Colton, or fears that Colton could steal Jack's girl away from him? But if you've got someone like Noah Presgrove, who is having a shower and is naked and is in the presence of Jack's girlfriend and possibly being touched appropriately in being helped up and standing up so one doesn't fall over, if Jack can get jealous of his older brother simply playing beer pong, fully clothed as well, with Carter, then how the hell would Jack react to Carter being very close to Noah in the bathroom and Noah's naked? Based off the reaction here, small scale, kind of drastic, you'd think it'd be even worse when it comes to the shower situation. But do we actually know at what time did Jack Newton find out about Noah having a shower and Carter being present? When did that actually come out, that news? When did Jack become aware of that? If it was later on in the day, after Noah's death, well, it's not linkable. If it's earlier, though, whilst Noah's still at the party, possibly, you could establish a bit of a link, at least as in, would Jack have been pissed off by that, based off how he reacted here, from Colton's account? So Colton wasn't allowed back the next day. We could interpret that as a Sunday. Okay. But was Travis welcomed back? Or did Travis tag along with Colton? If Colton couldn't come back, then Trav wouldn't either. Well, from what Kaden says, both returned back. Maybe at a time on purpose where they were trying in hopes of not being seen, detected by Jack. Do we have anything else before we move on though. Still, let me know your thoughts with this particular comment here. If you think I had anything to do with Noah's passing, come on down to Comanche and let's talk about it. Why does it need to be talked about face-to-face in person? Why exactly? Sounds like a bit of a trap. Pretty innocent there. Not much going on. We've seen that before. I know some people said that Travis looks like Jeffrey Dahmer. That's just what people in the community said, but it doesn't really matter. Right, so we've got it all sorted there. Let's head on over to the map. This particular project is rather a simple one, and it's more so based off interpretation, theory, ideas, and that's mainly it. And if we can add to hard evidence in the future, we'll do so. Noah found roughly dead, side of the highway, hard shoulder, but earlier before 3:30. We got 2nd of September, supposedly, of Travis Monsen partying, as you see him in the background photo. There were no photos or footage, to my knowledge, which add on and show the likes of Colton Newton on camera, which is interesting. But Colton did say he was there at least, but Colton also said at a later point he wasn't there at all. But, you know, Travis wasn't there either, but Travis was. So Colton was there, but also says he wasn't. Travis is there because he's seen on camera, but Colton says he wasn't. So what the fuck is that all about? Why is that needed? This confusion. It's just unnecessary. It's incompetent. Just a small scale thing. Many other pieces along the way. But Kaden Pressy, in the private police recorded interview, to bring it up that Sunday night, possibly Monday morning, past midnight, that Kaden was resting. Now, as we know, we've heard that Kaden said that Monday morning around 2 a.m. is when he first went to sleep and then woken up 42 minutes later. And then either went to sleep at 3 in the morning or went back to sleep at 3:20, 3:24. And then the next time woken up, the final time woken up was at 5:15, already after Noah's death and hearing the news of it for the first time. So we're looking probably before 2 in the morning, I'm guessing. But this is the thing, of course, if Noah had walked away at 3:30, anything happens after that is what's important. If Kaden had seen Travis Colton returning back to the party Sunday night, how long were they present at the party house for? What were they exactly doing? Well, Kaden said they were returning back to steal or get some alcohol. Taking what's theirs or getting revenge or as a prank or in your face, Jack, we're going to take what we want. You said, I can't come back. Well, I'm coming back now and I'm taking some alcohol away with me. But it's still important to know how long were they present at the house for. I know people in general can say, well, Kaden has been inconsistent, cracks have formed, maybe what Kaden says didn't actually happen. But really, what are we looking at that's the issue with Kaden Pressy? What he says isn't true, or the timing of what he says isn't accurate enough. See, there are things that Kaden has said or mentioned that did or didn't happen, and that might tie in line with what other people say as well, so there's consistency there, but the timing of when it occurs at can differ greatly. So let's just say it's true what Kaden says about Travis, Colton, and an unknown person returning back to the party, which implies that they were already there earlier on in the morning of Sunday, or more so the Saturday. And that would make sense for the Saturday with the footage, what we've seen, or the photo of Travis the Saturday. I get that. Colton, I guess, applies too. Colton, beer pong with Carter, Saturday. Jet says can't come back the next day, Sunday. But Travis and Colton do return back, but later at night. Sneaking on in. Who came down? How did they come down? In their own vehicles? Or driven down there by somebody else? Who was that unknown skinny person as Kaden describes? Will we ever find out? And the timing of it is obviously important, but also the timing of how long they stayed at the party for until walking away with the alcohol. Were they drunk upon arrival? Did they get drunk whilst there? Were they drunk whilst leaving, and at what time? Did it cross over to 3:30? If it did somehow, well, then it links more to a possible theory or outcome with Noah's death, as in crossing paths with one another. Now, if Travis, Colton, and the skinny unknown guy met Noah at the party, such as Sunday night, Monday morning, brushed paths, did they get on well or not? Was anything said? Any conflict, any tension, grudges forming? Well, earlier on, would it matter? So sometimes it can link still. If it happened earlier, that tension may have remained up until later, and then there was an attack or an ambush, and yeah, people say injuries don't quite match that, but we've got to look at it from all perspectives and angles and any motives in between to try and fill in the gaps, or at least in hopes of getting some answers, such as in the comment section by the right people at the right place and time. In the meantime, just theorizing, trying to work it out. And for Kaden to see it happen, but for Kaden to be a bit unsure whether it was Sunday night, Monday morning, a crossover, the later on, going into the next day, the more relevant, I would say, and closer to the situation with Noah. Is it possible by any means that when Travis and Colton, once they got the alcohol, leaving, did they hang around on site of the property outside or down the dirt road? So that later at 3:30, when Noah was to leave the party house, and if anything was said earlier on, if there was any tension or conflict as Noah walks out of the house to head east from at least what either Jack or Logan Jernigan witnessed, Noah heading that way, maybe not intent on going to the highway, but so far down. Was Travis, Monsen or Colton waiting for Noah at that point for whatever reason? Whether that be conflict, whether that be revenge, whether it be just a simple, I don't know, conversation, hanging out. See, even if Colton or Travis didn't do anything to Noah, if they were, and I'm not saying that it is, but just as a suggestion, if they were the last few people to see Noah, but further down, walking down as he's by himself, that would be interesting. You know, who truly was the last person to see Noah Presgrove before Noah died? Who was it really? Would it be the one like Logan that saw Noah walking away, or was there anything after that point? And after that point is what's most important. If Kaden Pressy, and that's what I do find really interesting, and I don't know if anyone else picked up on it. Kaden talks about his timeline. He talks about when he's awake and when he's not, when he's woken up and checking the time and everything. And then the one event, out of all the other events he's talked about, where he's roughly, you know, the most significant events, and he's given it like maybe a rough time or, you know, an actual time of what he truly believes in, whether it's true or not. And yet this situation with Colton and Travis and someone else, Kaden Pressy on that one time when talking about it did not give a time. Is it because he just didn't know? He was confused? Because it was in a police interview, so he couldn't give the time because he wasn't too sure about it. But it wasn't mentioned on Partisan True Crime, though, that extra detail. I wonder why. Why was it not mentioned? To my knowledge, I don't think it was. So, when some things are said in one interview but not in the other, does that hold more weight and value as to what you can say privately compared to what you can say publicly? But no time given. If a time was given, we could compare and contrast a lot more efficiently to how close or how far away it was from Noah's death, or more so when Noah separated himself from the party. Was there any other motives as to why Colton and Travis were returning back to the house? Did they intend on sticking around on site of the property, in the property, or were they just to leave just like that? Because to return back to the party, what? They return back, where did they come from originally or before? Down to Terrell, the town, further north, coming down the highway. just calling round, I'm just grabbing some alcohol, stealing it, and then I'm back off again. Would you go out of your way to do all that just to get some alcohol? Or is there another reason to be there? Is there a reason to be there a bit longer? Make it worth your time when sticking about. I mean, not enough credit is given to this property here, whether it was in use or not at the time. Was anyone hanging out around here? Was there any Snapchat footage, videos, photos of this property? People on site of it, inside of the house, by the side of the house, or even the one down here? You know, we can clearly see, but was anyone ever there? Is there any footage of it? Was Noah ever in any of those areas, or what? Of course, Noah's body, found on the highway, that always needs to be acknowledged, but it's always about looking at it just before that, just in case there's been any points that have been missed out, to make use and understanding of activity levels and whereabouts of people of interest, or just simple party goers. What were they doing? Where were they? Look, we've done it to an extent with the likes of, who was it now? Mikey Lair and was it Brylan Sweat, switching places from between 2:42 and then the next time 5:15. Kaden saw it in one position, then at 5:15 they switched places, Mikey and Brylan, I believe. What were they doing in between that? Walking about, looking around. Were they possibly searching for Noah? That could be a possibility. Different ways of looking at it. But for Travis and Colton, might as well throw it out there. Were Travis and Colton and the unknown person about for when it came to searching for Noah? After Noah had disappeared, or what? Arrange different questions, and if any of them can be answered properly, be sure to leave them in the comment section down below. Whilst we're at it, we might as well catch up with the comment section from last night's video, which was to do with Kaden Pressy as well, in which Kaden was saying, yeah, went to the lake trip visit with my friend JJ Bumpaz the day after Noah's death, and JJ's like, no, it was on the same day as Noah's death, and Kaden's like, well, actually, I don't really know, to be honest now. Great, isn't it? Let's see the comments, and then we will circle back to the conclusion of today's video, and I'll let you know my thoughts. TJ, justice for Noah, liars never win, busted, maybe. Justice for Noah. Shout out to TJ for sticking around. We got Mark with, I think, a non-Valley Girl comment. Wow, that's the first. Mark. He says, in my opinion, nothing from Ellie. This must go up and stop somewhere. If it's not a hit and run or a semi-involved, which is what we thought it was initially, then reports started coming out that it might not be vehicular, so people started wondering what else could have happened. Nobody dared to think it could be any of Noah's friends. Warlike Ref at this stage, since everything is circumstantial, there's no evidence pointing to anything, has brought discrepancies to light. Just in case we're all missing some clues, is that a fair assessment? I think as for like hard evidence, there could be areas where it's lacking, other areas where it feels it's lacking, but it is available, it's just not publicly available or has been released yet. The video footage of Noah Presgrove wearing white shorts is major, but it hasn't been released yet, but it's important. Supposed footage of the side-by-side being rolled over back onto its wheels and Kaden Pressy is caught on camera assisting, supposedly, that could be considered major evidence, but it's not been revealed. Shower footage as well. Major, important, not been revealed public. Footage possibly of Noah teabagging people and then eating. Pretty major, but has not been released. Possible footage of Carter, Combs and Avery arguing on the porchway after Noah walking away. Supposedly exists out there, a video of it. Not been revealed public, but major. There are still very important features like that, which if I had access to, I could pounce on in, I could analyse, go very deep, and who knows what I could find or the links that I could make, but they're just not available at this moment in time. So I would say that there might be things pending, and that's what needs to be acknowledged at least. And then in the meantime, just try and catch up with other stuff and try and clear up other things. Larry, wow, lots coming out finally, I guess. Kaden not sounding too sure about a lot of points does not mean he's lying, but it makes you think his statements. Well, thing is, most of us haven't said that Kaden is outright lying, but there have been times where Alicia has lied, and we've shown it in footage, evidence. There's been other times where what Alicia says is completely different to what Kaden has said. Is that a lie? Or is it just a discrepancy? A major misunderstanding? Or changing the narrative? Which then could be considered as a lie. But which way round? Which one is lying? I would say that Kaden is less likely to be lying, more likely to be maybe making mistakes here and there. And what can back that up is by Kaden appearing confident in what he says, but then after he says, well, actually, I'm not really too sure about it. I'm not too sure about that. In life, if you're not too sure about something, that's fine. It's not a crime. But if you're truly not that sure, it needs to be made clear in the beginning, at the beginning. We've got Cleo. Cleo says, thank you, Andy, for all you give. Today was very warm in chat as well. Maps, really good, informative video. Cherries on top. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Appreciate truly. Like Andy, he gives you raw truth when it comes to his own opinions, so that must be respected. No sugar-coated nonsense. Respect, much respect. Give and continues to fight for what's right. So amazing by far. Best private investigative, whatever. Best hostess, narrator, researcher, soul I've ever seen. So suppose I'm the best soul out there. Purely from your heart, thank you. So appreciate what you say, Cleo. Long-time viewer, of course, long-time supporter on the channel to a great depth and still about. So yeah, good that you're still present. Appreciate what you say. Moving on. +1, justice for Noah Presgrove, of course. Classy, big shout out to Classy on the replay. Carl says to Kaden and JJ Bumpers, please chime in and comment and set the record straight. Was the lake trip on the day of Noah's death or the next day? It'd be nice to clear up the confusion. Well, JJ says one thing, Kaden says the other. Kaden's more inconsistent than JJ, so that's how it goes there, doesn't it? Kaden's lake hangout, 9th of the 5th, 2023, not 5th of the 9th, 2023. You're confusing us, lol. I'm not, them. I'm not. The US date configuration might be for you, but I'm from the UK. We do things differently, and the same with Europe. So that's how I do it. I'm not going to confuse myself in my own videos, unless I start turning into an all-American and I'm wearing shorts with the American flag on them. What else do we have? Also, Alicia calling. I think it's her trying to get hold of Kaden to see where he is, likely. I think Alicia was just trying to call JJ to find out where Kaden was. I think she innocently got the last numbers mixed up when discussing it in the DMs. But why would she get mixed up when Alicia is the one in ownership of the call log and the screenshot, and she was the one that dished it out in the first place to someone to back up something or to help answer someone's question that, yes, things were blurred out and only the last 2 digits were showing 2-1 or something, but Alicia shouldn't get confused over that because she would know of the last final 4 digits of the phone number. It was just blurred or censored out afterwards by the person that received it out of respect, privacy for Alicia and whatnot, so then be able to pass it on and show it publicly. But then ever since then, I think the respect was lost and it was like, you know what, I need to see those final 4 digits, or I'm going to unreveal them, and then, you know, you, Alicia, you know those final 4 digits, and it ends in 2-1 as well. Who did you really call? And she says, oh, my, Dorotha or something, mother-in-law. And it's like, how can you get that mixed up? If Alicia only knew of the last 2 digits, 2-1, and so did the person asking. You could get mixed up between JJ and Dorothy because both phone numbers end in 21. That's why you look back at the other 2 digits. In total, the 4 final digits, and they're drastically different. And considering Alicia is in ownership of that call log and the screenshot, she would have full access and uncensored to the full phone number, which is, the same as JJ's, but Alicia says she didn't call JJ, so it can't really be a mistake there. Unless Alicia looked at it quickly and just completely neglected the final 2 of the digits and just looked at 2-1. Maybe you would get mixed up if it happened in the past and you're thinking of it in the moment later, but still, got to be careful and cautious because there's been other times where there's been slip-ups or mishaps, right? What else do we have? I also go with JJ Bumpas's storyline about going on Dave Knows Death. I think it's all a big to-do about nothing. A lot to do with nothing, but it's been turned into something deeper when it maybe not. And that's by the likes of either Kaden, by the likes of Alicia. They've made it worse then. But John does say there sure does seems to be a lot of accidentally mistakes and innocently surrounding Alicia, Lee and Kaden. Yeah. And there'll be some people on their side that will say, oh, it's just a mistake. Oh, let's be lenient. Oh, it's okay. It's just a slip-up. Oh, it's just a mishap. It happens. We're human. We're not perfect. We try again. Oh, another mistake. Oh, another mishap. Oh, well, never mind. We're human. It's an endless cycle, but the moment one individual on the dark side messes up, one mistake made, oh, pitchforks, let's prod and poke and go all in. There's a greater leniency and understanding towards Kaden Pressy and Alicia, but not the same leniency towards those of the dark side and other party goers. It's one-sided again. John says, yet Jack Newton doesn't get a pass in regard to his timeline or any time that he misspoke of with his timeline. Oh, there we go. So John summarised what I was getting at there. The difference, Jack and Noah were childhood best friends. Kaden and Jack were good friends, but Kaden wasn't close with Noah. Well, that's true that Kaden was closer to Jack than Noah was. What else do we have? Oh yeah, when I said to them what Noah was, I meant Kaden, stronger friends longer with Jack compared to being friends with Noah, just in case anyone misheard of that. Sonny, loved the map, great job, appreciate. What else do we have? Cheer Captain, you look psycho. Okay, so we've got the bingo card, Sourwood, Tim Daniel, if you've got a bingo card laying about, make sure to tick off the list. The labels that Warlight Raph looks like a psychopath. It's great to know. Cheer Captain says, you are obsessed with death. You are not a detective. Deep dives happen every day. You aren't the first. I think you are the, AI killer? You are the killer? Okay, so supposedly Warlight Raph is being accused of murdering Noah Presgrove. Okay, so very interesting, of course. John, so you upset about what? Go cry to Alicia. Okay. So what's the evidence behind me looking like a psychopath? In terms of me being obsessed with death, why exactly? I mean, wouldn't you say, though, when it comes to, I don't know, certain roles and jobs in life, criminologist, certain historians, forensics, whatever, teams, they're obsessed with death as well. Like any other YouTube channel or TikToker that covers true crime, it's all to do with the outcome of death, unfortunately. Is what it is. It's just a weird observation to make, to be honest. To say that I am not a detective, you do realise I never claimed to be one in the first place, you plum. So that's unnecessary as well and invalid. Deep dives happen every day. What type of deep dive, though, and how's that relevant to her? The point you're trying to get at is what? You aren't the first. Well, I am the first. I am the creator. I am the catalyst and the causation of certain things in life with certain people and outcomes. And that's a fact. Witnessed, engraved, and scarred in my head and my body. I am the catalyst. I do have to step up at times. I do have to speak, even if I am the more quiet one, because others can't get their fucking job done. Others make promises which they can't keep, but I stick by that. My standards may be different to others. But that's not just talking about true crime. That's not talking about YouTube. That's talking about in general. But besides being catalyst like Ref, when it comes to being first to cover certain stuff in a case, that has happened as well, and it's documented on my channel based off the dates and the times of when the videos were made and uploaded, compared to when other people then came out with the breaking news. So, Chair Captain, be sure to do your research. But I think that this person has commented on a different video of mine, possibly with the Kenny Veach case. It might have been a short video. Unreleased MK footage. His face is being blocked. That's not him. And if he hidden, never seen footage, how you get it? Right, so this person appears to be a child of some sort because they can't seem to type properly. Discrepancies with Noah's body. They say 480 views, 16,000 subscribers. The numbers don't match. This is what? AI? Right, okay, so we're dealing with a degenerative individual here. Okay, this could well be the type of person with the same mentality or mindset as someone maybe from the Dylan Rounds case and community. It could well be an individual from the past, a ghost from the past with an obsession with me. Who knows? Things do follow with time. But the mention of, you might not be able to see it on screen because of the aspect ratio cut out, but I did do a video on Kenny Veach recently, which is a completely different case mystery, not true crime. And they've got the cheek to comment on that, whilst also commenting on the Noah Presgrove case. This person is in absolutely no position whatsoever to be talking. And as for that profile picture, fake as fuck, pretending to be a female or of a certain female, when in reality, it's probably not you. Typical type degenerative-like behaviour online. I've seen it many times before. Very boring. But yeah, the face is blocked. That's incorrect. That's invalid. Kenny Veach's face is not blocked. You do clearly see it. If you did your research, which you clearly don't do, and you look at the full footage, Kenny Veach's face is clearly shown. He does not hide it. To say that's not him, I've been covering the case since 2015, researching and serve other people, and it definitely is Kenny Veach. You're in absolutely no position to be talking. You have no clue what you're talking about there. You need to do your research, you impetuous plank. To make reference to never seen footage, how did you get it? Well, it actually came from the dodgy ex-girlfriend of Kenny Veach, which released it on YouTube, but when it came to Kenny himself, never released it, never included it in his hike footage. Showed a different side of him. Defeated, exhausted, drained, tired, choosing beer over water, struggling to swallow in pain, not quite clearly thinking straight. Clear, important observations that need to be made at the time. Of course, you do your research, you're in them. This account joined 8 years ago. So, usernames may have changed in between, of course. There could be someone from the past, and they've changed their username since. But besides that degeneracy, torn brat. Who goes to the lake the day their friend is murdered? Seriously? Well, you could say it's a bit abstract, unusual, suspicious, or it's just as a means of getting away from it all, trying to clear your head and mind to free up some space. A lot's gone on in the day, early on. A lot's happened in a short space of time. You might hold it together in the moment. You might be somebody's rock. You may support others and someone if they're sad or upset, but you yourself need time to get away, to cool off, to relax, to release, whatever it may be. That Kaden Pressy had the opportunity to be able to share that with JJ Bumphouse, supposedly. Has JJ commented much about it? No. Has JJ talked about what conversations took place at the lake in Kaden opening up? No. Would it be interesting? Maybe. Dark Side says, Alicia Lee is a habitual compulsive liar. Hard to know if she is lying just to lie or hiding something. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Neither are reliable, that's for sure. Nothing they say can be believed due to the massive amounts of lies. It's unfortunate. And that appears to be it. Upon reflecting on the events which followed Sunday night onwards, let's just say, and Kaden Pressy's resting, who's really telling the truth? Do you, as a viewer, believe that what Kaden Pressy says, as in witnessing the likes of Travis Monsen, Colton Newton and an unknown skinny guy returning back to the party to get alcohol to steal it. Is that actually true? And if it is, what does it lead on to? And how does it link? Does it link at all to Noah Presgrove's death, or at least crossing paths when Noah was walking away? Let's not forget, Kaden said Jasmine Millan told him that Noah walked away in between 2 in the morning and 3 in the morning. Jack said 3:30. Maybe it's just an estimate what Jasmine said at the time, but still, different sets of times. Did Noah walk away more than once at the party? Who knows? I do remember, I believe it was Sarah Long that said the night before Noah walked away and party goers went out looking for him, found him and returned him back to the house. So more than once Noah walked away to cool off. So if Noah had walked away earlier to cool off on the Monday, and he did return back to the party, if it was earlier, did Noah cross paths with Travis or Colton by any means? And if there was any misunderstandings or any conflict or tension, did that drag on till after, when Noah was by himself again and there was a follow-up? Different ways of looking at it. And we're looking at it from the point of view of like Colton as well, saying, oh, he was there Saturday, but not the next day. What about the day after that? Ken says you were there, you say you weren't, so who's really telling the truth? Weird. And is it necessary for Colton to be so threatening as he was at the time? Digs one into a hole, makes other people question him, right? Just what happens based on your behaviour. So, with that all being said, hopefully you found the video somewhat interesting. If you want to hit the thumbs up, share the video, that'd be much appreciated. I'll see you next time. My name's Warlock Raf. Goodbye for now.